Here's a fun fact about Eric Adams most people didn't know. Clap it.
Beta!
Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? My name is Hero. This is Coding with Strangers, and I wanna talk about something. Yay. Did you guys know Eric Adams is terribly afraid of rodents and rats? Like, most people are afraid of rats, but I guess like he has an unhinged fear about them, so much so that he like used a certain type of poison to bring about control in the New York borough. For all you guys know, Eric Adams is the mayor of New York. We're going to be talking about him a lot. And while trying to exterminate those rats like ended up dying, and then like the bird life obviously ate them. And there's like this super majestic famous owl that lives in Central Park, and it died because it ate a poisonous rat. So there's just that. And if you're wondering like, oh my goodness, Hero, why did you tell us this story about Eric Adams? Is because I want you to already be hating him. He is a Democratic mayor of New York, and he's currently going through some investigations. But I was taking a moment to look up his case, and you know, we're not a political channel, okay? Clap it. Not a political channel. Red tie, blue tie, keep that shit to yourself. We're a tech channel here, okay? But I've been looking into getting into bug hunting or hackathons. And bug hunting and hackathons are basically where you go out into the internet and find bugs in company codes or exploitable things in company code. And there's this hackathon 101 course that I was wanting to take, where you learn about penetration, security, and then like pen testing, and I don't know what's the thing called whenever you can put you can put quotable code into an input bar and run it as an admin from the back end. But I want to get into that. I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's pretty cool. And I've reached this part of my web dev journey where I want to make that a keynote thing for me. It's something that's at the front of my mind when I'm talking about it or dealing with code. With all that being said, you could probably imagine, to my surprise, Eric Adams was indicted on criminal charges for basically campaign finance violations, taking money from foreign agents. And 2 days before he was supposed to submit his phone to the government, he changed his password. Hey, you know what? Security is important. Security is important, and you have to make sure that you are protecting your data at all costs. We hear about data leaks everywhere all the time. But he then claimed he forgot his password.
I beg your pardon?
What?
I beg your pardon?
And he's forgotten his password to the extent where it is now, the phone is inaccessible. So I said, what better time than for us to figure out, could we be the chosen one, the honored one, to go out and figure out how to crack Eric Adams' phone? And what type of bug bounty do you think they'll pay for that? I'm interested to see. So let's cover this story and see what the mayor in crime is up to. The feds still can't get into Eric Adams' phone 2 days after changing the passcode to his personal cell phone. The New York City mayor told investigators he had forgotten the new password. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the best of us. Trying to be proactive, and it just comes back on your face. No pun intended. The New York City mayor, Eric Adams, who was indicted last week on charges including fraud, bribery, and soliciting donations from foreign nationals, told the federal investigators he forgot his phone password before handing it over, according to charging documents. That was almost a year ago. The investigators still can't get into the phone, prosecutors said Wednesday. He handed that shit over a year ago? A year ago?
Hey, yo, what the f***?
Nah, he Yo, a year ago? It's over. It's what type of encryption does he have on his phone? Wow. Wow. Okay. During the federal court hearing, prosecutors Hagan Scotten, the FBI's inability to get into Adams' phone is a significant wild card. According to the report from the New York Post, the FBI issued a search warrant for Adams' device. So the federal government's involved already? Eric Adams is cooked. In November of 2023, Adams initially handed over the two phones but didn't have his personal device on him. That indicates that indictment does not mention what type of device Adams is using. This is stunning. This is stunning. I'm guessing this is the indictment readout. November 6th, FBI agent executed a search warrant for the electronic devices of Eric Adams, the defendant. Although Adams was carrying several electronic devices, including two cell phones, he was not carrying his personal cell phone, which is the device he used to communicate about the conduction described in the indictment. All right. When Adams turned in his personal phone the following day, charging documents say he said he had changed the password a day prior after learning about the investigation and couldn't remember it. Adams told investigators he changed the password to prevent members of his staff from inadvertently or intentionally deleting the content of his phone. Hey, that's a perfectly valid reason. Oops, wrong button. That's a perfectly valid reason. It's such a scumbag. After this, I need to take a shower. This guy's an animal. Oh, deleting content from zone indictment says, even if Adam's excuse isn't true, or if he happens to remember the password later on, he may not have to give that information to the police. Several courts have ruled that even in instances where police have a warrant to search someone's phone, the Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination means investigators cannot compel a suspect to tell them their phone password. Phone passcodes are often considered a form of testimonial evidence because they require a person to reveal their thoughts. But if the Face or Touch ID have been enabled on Adams' devices, the FBI potentially could have unlocked his phone with biometrics, which aren't typically considered a form of testimonial evidence. There's a part of me that feels like, and maybe I'll go back to this, but I feel like the Face ID maybe the Face ID isn't as beneficial as a thing, because I do worry about that Face ID and where that's being stored, how the biometrics are being used, what happens when Apple surprisingly gets another data leak and my face biometrics are just out there. It's such a weird thing. The FBI may be able to get Adams into the phone without his passcode or thumbprint. They just need the right tools. After investigators at the FBI Pittsburgh field office failed to break into the Trump rally shooter phone, they sent the device over to the FBI in Quantico, Virginia, where the agents cracked it in less than an hour. Ooh. Okay, so maybe, is this an ego thing? Is this an ego thing right now? You know your big brothers in Quantico could crack this code, and you're just why are you being hard-headed? You getting tired of being showed up? The FBI can't do it, but Quantico can. Ego. The investigators at Quantico reportedly used the unreleased tool from the Israel mobile forensic company, Celebrate, to unlock the shooter's phone. Still, experts told the Post that breaking into Adams' phone could be monumentally difficult for the FBI. Here's the 57-page indictment. My thoughts on this is kind of dramatic, as I do believe that we're in, the Fifth Amendment, and he has the right to protect himself from incrimination. So I'm not even on that. But the irony of the situation is, how much effort did Eric Adams put into like nonsense things, like trying to punish protesters and trying to punish people for this? Neither here or there. From a technical aspect, I think that if this tool that the FBI is talking about was to ever get out, what type of stuff damage could people do all over the world? And I know there's people who can probably tap into Eric Adams' phone if given the ability, but the reason why I guess I wanted to know more about this is, what's the realistic idea of your everyday hacker? Are the tiers and understanding it, and the fact that I don't really know the answer to that is why I'm so much more interested in getting to know what the terrain of the hacking world really looks like, because we know about a lot of hacking, especially in today's day and age. A lot of hacking revolves around social engineering. What do I mean? Everyone who has a Ring doorbell light now answers the phone or answers the front door with that Ring doorbell. And if someone knocks on your door and says, "Hey, I'm here to do a survey with you. Do you mind coming out to speak with me?" "Oh, I can't come to the door right now." "Oh, is there another time I could come back? I don't mind waiting for you." "Oh, I'm not home right now. So can you come back later?" "Okay, cool. When will you be home?" 6:30. "All right, excellent. While you're talking to me, I've hit the send button on my phone to tell the homeboy on the side of the house to kick in the window because no one's home." Right? I've just socially engineered you into telling me that you're not home and I can break into your house. So evolution of technology still doesn't stop humans from being cognitively aware of their surroundings and what that does to people. So I'm super interested to see this. I was more under the impression that they wouldn't be able to do this, but how great would it be if they put a bounty out so that we could? Can we do this? Is there a program where I can try and break into Eric Adams' phone? I think this would be a great bug bounty for our crew. And it's super reliant on how trustworthy the world is, and I don't trust the world for nothing. Not a goddamn drop. So I'm curious to know what this is. Are you a hacker? Are you a programmer? Talk about it. How easy or how hard is it really to get down on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the hardest. I'm curious to know. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the other side.